U.S. plans diplomatic boycott of Beijing Winter Olympics. But you're not going to boycott Saudi Arabia, who literally dismembered a journalist, and you know about it. You're not going to do anything to them, no. But you're going to now start boycotting Beijing. You're going to say China because of their human rights record. You remember when China started that worldwide torture program? Oh, no, that wasn't them. That was the United States. Remember when China opened up Guantanamo Bay, a torture film? Oh, no, that wasn't them. Remember when China started doing a extraordinary rendition where they would kidnap people in streets of other countries, take them to black ops sites to be tortured? Oh, no, that wasn't them. That was us. So what exactly? Although I think they're talking about the Uyghurs. I think that's what they're probably talking, or the Uyghurs. Right. The Uyghurs. I call them the Uyghurs. The U.S. will stage a diplomatic boycott of the upcoming Winter Olympics in Beijing to protest Chinese human rights abuses. Because we care so much about human rights, we're participating in a genocide in fucking Yemen right now. That's how much we care about. Look, what we care about human rights. That's why we did Libya and turned it into a failed state with open slave markets. We care about human rights, which is why we funded ISIS and al-Nusra inside Syria. That's how much we care about human rights. That's why. U.S. stepping up operations in South China Sea, researchers say. And here's what Caitlin Johnstone says. Besides a brief window after 9/11, the U.S. can never really sell the narrative that governments it wants to ramp up aggression against are about to attack its easily defended shores. So instead, it does things like claiming those governments are about to invade the Ukraine or invade Taiwan. The U.S. empire never attacks. It only defends. All its aggressions are always about defending freedom and democracy, defending human rights, defending nations that can't defend themselves, etc. Often it even defends preemptively before the attacker has even done anything. And here it is. Biden vows unwavering support for Ukraine amid heightened tensions with Russia. So do you see what's going on? Here it is. Here's U.S. says it will send troops to Eastern Europe if Russia invades Ukraine. Ukrainians are a bunch of Nazis. And here they are. And here's Garland Nixon letting us know. The Azov Battalion in the Ukraine army, these are the people that Joe Biden is financing and arming on the Russian border. Do you see the people? Do you see the flag? As Garland Nixon says, so the U.S. overthrew the government of Ukraine on the Russian border, finances and arms a neo-Nazi government, then claims that the Russians are using aggression for moving troops inside their own country. You can't make this crap up. And so let me throw it over to Max. Max, what do you have to say about all this?
Yeah, actually, in the Donbass region a few months ago, during the last freakout over Russian troop movements, Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, visited Ukrainian troops, and moments after he visited a position right on the Ukrainian side across from pro-Russian separatists, a literal swastika Nazi flag was flying over that position. The Azov Battalion of neo-Nazis who wear SS badges and the Nazi Wolf's Angle as their logo, who have been seen sig-heiling at protests, who are a fascist militia, have been incorporated into the Ukrainian National Guard. So these are the frontline bullet stoppers of U.S. empire. And I think the comments of Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary, in a recent speech were really telling when he referred to Soviet President Vladimir Putin and the Soviet Union as the aggressor in this conflict.
No.
And I think that's how the U.S. often sees this, and how the Pentagon wants to frame this, because if there's a Soviet Union, they can go back to those Cold War. Well, they have gone back to Cold War era spending levels and increase them. And the whole point of all of this is to extend and expand what the war on terror provided for the military leadership into unparalleled levels of Pentagon spending. And all these human rights ploys are put forward in order to manufacture consent and cultivate support from liberal Democrats for this new Cold War. One of them was the Uyghur genocide deception, which even the lawyers of Joe Biden's State Department have admitted was not taking place. And that whole PSYOP was basically put forward by organizations like the World Uyghur Congress, which are based in Washington, and work through the CIA cutout known as the National Endowment for Democracy, which funds and trains their leadership and cultivates all of these dissidents who have been pushing for this Olympic boycott. And the point is just to ramp up tensions indefinitely with China. We see the Biden administration also refusing to accept that Taiwan is actually, under international law, a part of China. The U.S. has even maintained troops inside Taiwan, which is an extreme provocation. Imagine if China maintained troops inside a U.S. territory like Guam. Imagine the freak out that would ensue. There would probably be military action. So the Biden administration has escalated things to such a dangerous point, and there's very little pulling back from the brink. And I think Biden himself might actually find military leadership and some of the figures around him, like Victoria Nuland, the author of the Maidan coup in Ukraine in 2014, are a little too extreme for him, and he's going to try to save some face while tamping down on these insane tensions in his summit with Vladimir Putin. And by the way, imagine if Trump had a summit with Vladimir Putin.
Imagine
how much resistance there would be in Washington to that. I mean, that was Russiagate was part of taking us to the current moment of tension between nuclear powers.
Hey, come see one of our live stand-up shows December 10th or 17th or New Year's Eve at the Two Roads Theater in Studio City, California. See you there. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets.